Dave Staublin here, and today we are going to learn how to use a spreadsheet to analyze data. We're going to calculate the mean, the standard deviation, and the 5-number summary, all using spreadsheet formulas. So here's what I want you to do is with your Chromebook, sign in and get to the Moodle page, and I want you to scroll down until you find the univariate data and distributions, and scroll down, and you are going to do this one, analyzing data using a spreadsheet. So click on that, and the screen with all kinds of information will come up, and I'm just going to lead you through it. You may need to pause the video here and there to get caught up, or replay it to make sure you get it. But here's what you're going to do first. You are going to open the spreadsheet linked here by clicking on this link, and there will be this spreadsheet. And what I want you to do is I want you to go to File, Make a Copy. And you can call it whatever you need. I'm going to call it Analyzing Data, and I'm going to put my last name on it. So, okay. So there it is. All right. So once you have done that, I'd like you to look at the data or the spreadsheet and see that we have column A, there's a title, grade based on average score of all standards. So this is just some test data. And if you scroll down, you will see that there is data. It's sorted, and it looks like it goes down to line 120. Okay, so there's our data. And we are going to do a number of functions. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to highlight this cell, C2, and I'm going to give it a title, and I'm going to call this the count. Okay, and then I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to center that. So what we're going to do is highlight the next cell, D2, and we're going to put in a function that allows us to count the number of data points. And it works like this. All of these functions start with an equal sign, and then we're going to type the word count, and you'll see that it comes up with these possibilities, and we want this one, count of numeric values in a data set. So I'm just going to click on that, and it gives me the parenthesis, and I am going to count all these data points. So the way that we do that is you click on the first, click and hold, and then drag down and highlight all the data that you want to count. So I've highlighted it all. I unclick, and then you'll see that in this parentheses, we're counting cell A2 through A120. We close the parentheses and press enter, and it tells us that there are 119 data points. I'm going to go ahead and center that. Okay, the next is another type of count, and it's going to be the Countif function. So I'm going to center that. And here's how this works. Say, for example, we want to count how many data points are greater than or equal to 80. So we're going to put our equal sign and count, and we want this one, Countif. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give it the range of all the data. So we're going to highlight all the data. And then we're going to put a comma. And then now we can put in the criteria. Which ones do we want to count? Well, we want to count if greater than or equal to 80. So we're going to put a quotation mark. And then we'll put greater than or equal to 80. And then we'll put another quotation mark and we'll close the parentheses. And so we press enter. And this tells us that there are 49 values greater than or equal to 80. That's how the Countif function works. The next one is, let's calculate the mean. Okay, now I'm going to again center that. So this is how we do this. We put the equals for the function, and you would think that you would put mean, but actually we're going to put average. And so now we highlight all the data. And close the parenthesis and press enter. And the average or the mean is 78.97. Now I'm going to go over here and put it in the center. And one of the things I notice it has lots of decimals. And really our data all has a single decimal, so we need to get rid of these. If you look up here in this command bar, we can decrease the number of decimal places and it will automatically do the rounding for you. So that's kind of nice. All right. So let's next do standard deviation of a sample. Okay. Now, do you see all my words are too big for this cell? I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to go up to Format, and I'm going to come down to Text Wrapping, and I am going to wrap. And then I'm going to center. Okay, so now standard deviation sample is all in that cell. The function for a sample standard deviation is equals, and then it is STDEV parentheses, and we pick the range of the data. And close the parenthesis, press enter, and there is the standard deviation. I'm going to decrease the decimal place, and I am going to center the data. The next function is standard deviation for a population. And again, it's too big for the cell, so I'm going to go to Format, Text Wrapping, Wrap, and center the data. The function command for a population standard deviation begins with equals, and then it is STDEV, and we want this one with the P, standard deviation of an entire population. And then we highlight the data and close the parenthesis, press enter, and there is our population standard deviation. I'm going to decrease the decimal places to 1 since that's what our data is, and I am going to center the data. Now that gives us mean and standard deviation. What if we want to get the 5-number summary, which includes the minimum, Q1, the first quartile, the median, the third quartile, and the maximum. So that's our 5-number summary. Now see, I would like to put all those in the center. I'm actually going to highlight the column, and I'm going to center the entire column. Okay, well it turns out there's 2 ways to get the minimum. And the first way is to go equal min and a parenthesis, and then you select and highlight the range of the data. Close the parenthesis, press enter. I'm going to highlight the column, and I'm going to center all the current and future data. Okay, so that's method number 1 to get the minimum. Well, here's method number 2. We can do equal, and the function is called quartile, open the parenthesis, and what we do is we highlight all the data, and put a comma, and then what we do is we need to put a number in here for which quartile. Now the minimum, you put in a 0, close the parenthesis, and press enter, and that gives you the minimum. Okay. Now to get quartile 1, there's only one way to do that, and that's equal quartile, open parenthesis, highlight the data, and close parenthesis. Oh no, got to put a comma, and it's quartile 1, so you put a number 1 and close the parenthesis. And so there's quartile 1. Now it turns out there's 2 ways to get the median. We can do equal quartile, and we highlight the data, put a comma, and now if the number we want to put in is 2 for the median, which kind of makes sense because 2 is between quartile 1 and quartile 3. Press the enter, and you get the median. The other way to get the median is to do equal, and then the function name is median with an open parenthesis, and then you can highlight all the data and close the parenthesis and press enter, and you should get the same number. There's only one way to get quartile 3, that's equal, and the function name is quartile, open the parenthesis, highlight the data, put a comma, and it's quartile 3, so you put a number 3, close the parenthesis, press enter, and you've got that. And there's 2 ways to get the maximum. You can put equal, quartile, highlight the data. Oops, went too far. There we go, comma, and the maximum is 4. Close parenthesis, press enter. Or you can press equals, and the function is max, open parenthesis, and highlight the data. Close parenthesis and press enter. Okay, so that is how you can use functions to find all of these different pieces of information. Now, I'm going to show you how to do a box and whisker, but before we do that, I'm going to show you something else. You can highlight all your data, and you will notice down in the lower right-hand corner, there's this button that says Explore Your Data. And so you can press that, and it will show you some different things. It shows you the sum of the data, the average, the min, the max, the count. Those are all things we've already done. And it gives you different kinds of scores. So, like for example, this is all the data points collected in a row. So, you know, the very first data point is 94.8, and then all of them are just in a row in order from largest to smallest. And so you can get an idea of how they're spread. And then this is a histogram of the data, and they have chosen, or the program has chosen your bar widths. But what you could do is, if you think, you know, a histogram could be helpful, I'm going to insert that chart. And boom, there it is. And now what you can do is you can go in and do some editing. So you could click the bars, and you could change the color. For example, you could edit the horizontal labels. So you know, we could slant them, for example, or we could change their color. We could make them italics. So there's some things that we can do there. Let's see, we could do an advanced edit. And this allows us over on the left-hand side to do some fancier things. So like the buckets, we could change the widths here. So I think bucket size, let's try putting in 10, and let's update and see what happens. Okay, so now we have buckets of like 60 to 69, 70 to 79, 80 to 89, and 90 to 100. And so what this would tell us then is these people got A's, these were B's, these were C's, these were D's, and then you can you know, get a count. So bottom line is you can highlight your data, come to the lower left hand, explore, and it will help you, the program will help you choose the right kind of chart. Now, the only limitation with Google Sheets is that you can't get, it won't do a box and whisker. So I've got the data highlighted, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit, and I'm going to copy that data. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back out to the Moodle page, and you'll see there's a link here for a box and whisker plot generator. So you can click on that, and then you'll get this screen up here. You can go to data, and you can click paste numbers, and then you can just do command or control, press and hold the control key or the command key, and then press the V to paste, and it will put it'll paste all those numbers in there. So I'm just going to skip the labels, and I'm going to go straight to display to create my chart. And you know, there's my box and whisker. And if you want, you can download it as a JPEG or a PDF, and then that would allow you to import it and insert it into a document like a report. Okay, so I will let you play with that as well. I'm going to go back to the Moodle page and just show you that everything that we have done is listed here under Analyzing Data Using a Spreadsheet. So all the functions are listed here, so you can refer back to this if you need to. So what I would like you to do is go ahead and if you've done all of these things, then you can upload your spreadsheet to here so I can take a look at it. I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to go to my Create a Box and Whisker. I'm going to save this as a JPEG, and it downloaded it for me. And I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet, and I'm going to go Insert an Image, and let's see, you're going to have to choose an image to upload wherever that is. Let's see, mine is listed in downloads. I've got a lot of stuff here. I'm not going to do it this way. I am going to drag my image up. So there's my box and whisker. I dragged it up, and it's inserted into my spreadsheet. So you can put your box and whisker in the spreadsheet. You've got, oh, it looks like I lost my plot, but put a histogram in there, and then upload that file to Moodle, and that will complete the assignment. All right, I know that was an awful lot, but if there's anybody that can do it, I know that my students can do it because you're good mathletes. All right, thanks for paying close attention, and I hope you learned something new about data analysis.